I was going to do a video for like the last 5-6 weeks. I've got to guide and I've got to fish tournaments a lot. It's something that I enjoy doing. It's my favorite time of year. I love to throw a frog. I love to flip. And I get a lot of questions, either direct messages, people text messaging on guide trips, how do I become a better frog fisherman or flipper? How do you find them? Well, how you find them, it's very, very simple. You put your trolling motor down and you go. You can look at a map, and I can look at a map and say they should be here, here, and here. But when you go out there and do it, and they're not there, and there's so much grass, that's the deceiving thing about Guntersville. When you look at a map, it looks like, oh, I'll just go fish right there. When you get there, that little portion that you thought was going to be really small is like 200 yards. So you just got to put the trolling motor down just to find them. The one thing about it that I think makes people successful is having the right equipment. And you can get by throwing a worm, just 7.2 heavy. It doesn't have to be like the perfect worm rod. Chatterbait I think is very specific. You need a rod for chatterbait. Swimming a jig I think is very specific. And frog fishing and flipping is no different to me. To have the best equipment will make you the best frog fisherman and flipper. Because I tell people, you're only going to get X amount of chances in a day. Like, I think this year so far fishing tournaments, we've got me and my dad won one, came in second to BFL, third in the Landers McClarty tournament, top 10 at the net bait tournament. I mean, having a really good fall, but we don't get a lot of chances. Like, it looks good on black and white, and that's what I tell people. It looks really good on black and white, but when you're doing it, it doesn't seem that good. But you have to capitalize on all your opportunities. If you lose a 4 and a 5, or a 5 and a 3.5, 3 3/4, like, your chances of doing good in a tournament is going way down. You just don't get a lot of chances, so you have to, capitalize on all and make sure to put the fish in the boat. Frog fishing, I keep it, I have the same setup I've used for years. This right here, this is a Zodius. It's upside down here, whoopsie daisy. So that's the Zodius. It's a 7.4 extra heavy plus. This rod's designed to throw a frog. It is pretty much solid backbone, and it gets tipped like right about in there. You got like 3 or 4 guides that have tipped. The rest of it's just solid backbone. What that does, I can make a really long cast that has just a little bit of tip. I can be accurate. If one blows up, I can throw back in the hole. But mainly it's just getting them out. When I'm on guide trips, people want to bring their own equipment, no problem. And even with the right equipment, they don't do the right thing. When you get a bite, you need to jack him as hard as you can and start dragging him out of there. Your boat physically cannot go over in there on a trolling motor. It's so thick. So you need to jack them and you need to get them out. So right here, that's a 7.4 extra heavy plus. It's got enough backbone where I can drag pretty much anything out of a mat. 65-pound Power Pro. I've got to use in 65-pound Max Quattro. I like it a pretty good bit. Strength of 65, diameter of 50, so I get extra casting. Like, they can throw about 50, 55 yards. So I can cover a mat. Don't have to cut a lot of trails. I can just cover a lot of water from the outside. Karadu 200, and that's the XG. Got the big power handle on it. Lock down the drag where there is absolutely zero drag. Probably one of the biggest things I see people do wrong is when on guide trips, they set the hook and I hear the drag slip. When his drag slips, for one, they already have the advantage when they bite. They have the upper hand. So you have to get them out of there quickly. If you're drag slipping, right there, that's like the most critical part. When you hook one, you want to get him coming immediately, not him going the other way. So I use 200, Karadu 200 XG, 65-pound Power Pro. Frogs I keep pretty simple. That's a snag proof. That's a toad thumper. That's a Jackal Kiera. Mainly, it's just all about size, the profile. When they're eating, they eat brim, bigger size brim. That's why I like these two frogs. But sometimes when they get pressured, cold front comes through like we just had. Now we're not really cold. It's getting back warm, but the last couple days have been really chilly. They want that little smaller Jackal Kiera. And I've experimented, putting rattles in his legs versus just having skirts. I usually put rattles in the frog. It's just more of a confidence thing. I think a lot of people, they say, oh, you gotta have this, gotta have that. Personal preference. Colors, black, some kind of a white body, and a brown or red. Once again, you ask 10 different people what their favorite frog is, they're going to give you 10 different answers. It's mainly up here. If you can throw one frog for 8 hours and not get over it, and you have confidence in it, that's what matters. It's more about just finding that 20-yard stretch that might have some. So I try to keep that as simple as possible. But the main things, rod and reel. 7.4 extra heavy plus Zodius, 200 Corrado XG. This is the rod that I've pretty much used all fall. I've caught more on this. The frog thing's really starting to heat up, and that is a Corrado 7.8 extra heavy. It's my favorite flipping stick I've ever had. It's actually was designed to throw a swim bait. I didn't realize this. They sent it to me, I believe, last year to test, and they said, "What do you think about it?" And I said, "Man, it's matte flipping. It's awesome." And they said, "Well, it wasn't designed for that." I said, "Well, you got a good one." It was designed to throw big glide baits. But what makes it such a good flipping stick and a glide bait rod, big swim bait rod, parabolic action. So it has a parabolic bend, but it has a whole lot of backbone. So it's not gonna rip holes in their mouth. I wouldn't suggest slack lining them. I just don't suggest that as a braid. More of a pull hook set. I kind of do give it to them a little bit, but I don't slack line them. But it's got the extra heavy. You can get them out of anything. A lot of the mats right now in the last 6-7 weeks, and it will be all fall, it's like coontail mixed with hydrilla with solid eelgrass over top. So it's pretty much a jungle. Main thing is when you hook one, get him coming, get him out. Don't want to play with them. If they get you buried up, they just have a better chance of getting off. I flip on 65-pound Power Pro. This right here is a Corrado. This is a 70. I like the 70. I never take the rod out of my left hand all day. I flip left-handed. It's super lightweight. That's the biggest thing. Lightweight, doesn't have fatigue. I can do it all day long. And that's what, to me, makes a good flipper, a great flipper, better than a good flipper, is just efficiency. If I can flip 5 times to your 3, I'm gonna probably catch more fish than someone else. And I've been in the boat with some great flippers, and I feel like that's the advantage I have over a lot of people, is I just flip more times. Like I said, if you flip 5 to someone else's 3, they get it on the fall or maybe the first jiggle, chances are you're gonna catch more fish. Bait wise, I keep it pretty simple. That's an X-Zone Adrenaline Crawl 3.5, black and blue. The black and blue, that's just what I have confidence in. It's, to me, color they bite all year, everywhere, flipping mats. Once again, strictly confidence. You talk to some of the best flippers on the lake, what's crazy is we all flip different baits, different colors. And they win one weekend, someone else does good another weekend. So it's mainly right up there. The thing that for flipping is just like throwing a frog. Do it all day. Don't set it down to go, chase schooling fish or go throw a worm or let's go fish with swim bait. I mean, you just put it in your hand, you go all day. You're going to get hopefully 12 to 13 bites, and you're going to capitalize. If you get 13, capitalize on 10, put them all in the boat. Probably do pretty well, as long as you get a big one. So I try to keep it simple. I flip one bait, one color, and I throw about 2 different frogs. So the main thing to me is your equipment. So frog fishing, 7.4 extra heavy Zodius, flipping, 7.8 extra heavy Corrado rod, Corrado reels on both of them, 65-pound Bower Bro on both of them, and it's pretty simple. Just, I think that's where the equipment is your number one friend. You just want the best equipment to get the job done. There's more expensive rods and reels out there. I just think these setups make me the most efficient as an angler. So check it out. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully when you go frog fishing, get you the right rod, get you the right reel, get them fish out of there, have a good time, go flipping, get your right rod, and won't lose as many fish, get most fish out, capitalize on all your opportunities. So fall fishing, make sure you have the right rods and reels. There's nothing secret to it. Just he who covers the most water and capitalize on your chances catches more bass.